So, I've always been fascinated by Japanese martial arts, and specifically samurais and ninjas.
Believe it!
I mean, I grew up in anime, watching Naruto. Duh. Samurais and ninjas, they're frickin' sweet. My boys over at Cold Steel, they ended up sending me out a katana and a wakizashi. And so I thought to myself, you know what would be really freaking cool is if I did end up becoming a samurai. Now, I know obviously like I can't technically become a samurai, but I posted a video on Twitter one time and the Japanese bros over there said that I was samurai. I'll take what win I can get. I'm not gonna practice with an incredibly sharp sword, so I went out and got a training sword, and I thought it would be a fun concept or a fun video idea to see how well I can learn from online videos. It's like a video inception because I'm making videos teaching you how to do martial arts stuff. What is it like on the other end? So we're gonna go through together and I'm gonna find videos on, it's called Kenjutsu and Iaido. I believe I'm pronouncing those two correctly. Kenjutsu is just basically, from what I understand of it, how to use the sword and swordsmanship, where Iaido is like the drawing practice where they draw and like strike. I'm just a filthy Westerner, so
dishonor on your whole family.
We'll find out, but we're gonna learn together. We're gonna find out how easy it is to learn swordsmanship through YouTube. Look at how sick this thing is though, dude. Look at how dope that is. Huge disclaimer, I am by no means an Iaido or a Kenjutsu instructor at all. I am not claiming to be. I have zero swordsmanship experience besides for taking out cheap swords behind my parents' house when I was like 12 and chopping up the bushes and making my mom really mad. Okay, so I am not an instructor by any means. We're gonna go through it together. If it seems like I am instructing, it is just me relaying what I am kind of getting from the video to my video. Yes, we've got our katana and we've got our YouTube University. I have tracked down the teachers of teachers, I hope. I guess the comments will let me know that I was wrong. I found these two channels, Let's Ask Shogo and Let's Ask Seki Sensei. Those were the two main channels that had stuff that seemed respectable or reputable on learning this stuff. I could be wrong. We're gonna find out together. I've got a list of like 27 videos. I'm not gonna watch all of them in a row because you don't have that attention span. I don't have that attention span. We're just gonna choose one at a time and then go see if we can actually learn it because realistically, that's probably what you're gonna do, and so that's what I'm gonna do. So we're gonna start with this. 3 basic katana trainings that beginners can do at home, taught by a Japanese Iaido trainee. That makes sense to me because I'm a beginner, I'm at home, and this is a katana that I want to learn, and I need to know the basics. So we're gonna go ahead and watch this. Well, I'm gonna watch it. You're gonna see it in like super sped up speed. And then we're gonna go try some of the stuff that was in this video to see if I can learn it. And then we're gonna just kind of rinse and repeat the process. I don't know how long this is gonna take me. I don't know if this is gonna be like weeks. I don't know if this is gonna be months, but I'm definitely gonna practice. I would like to keep it shorter because that's probably what you're gonna do as well. You'll probably just get a video and then try it for a little bit and then maybe move on. Let's watch it, I guess. What we have learned today in this episode is how to draw and sheath the katana and as well as how to swing it, or at least a basic swing. He was kneeling down because he's got really low ceilings, I guess. But that seems like a perfect place to start on how to actually learn this thing. So let's see if I can actually understand that and implement it into a training practice. Now, ideally, it would be doing this like with a TV screen in front of me and practicing like that, but I don't have a TV in my training area. So what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna have my phone to kind of bring up for reference. Let's get to it. Let's see how it goes. All right, so I'm gonna be doing this a couple different ways here. I don't have everything to kind of train traditionally, I guess, but I do have some belts. So I'm gonna try the drawing and the sheathing multiple ways since I don't have like an official way, like the official hakama and everything. Hakama, dirty Westerners, am I right?
Dishonor.
I don't have like an official way to hold this. So I'm gonna try with just a normal belt that I have from karate and BJJ. I'm gonna try with the belt I'm wearing as well as just my pants loops. We're gonna give it a shot with all 3 of them and see how it goes. Again, probably gonna get yelled at, don't care. Since we're just trying to learn off the internet, I figure I'll try with just using like the belt that I'm wearing, and then we'll do like a traditional belt after that. I'm assuming it's in a kind of a right facing stance. That's what he looked like. He said it's in conjunction, left and right hand together. So he's grabbing like this, breaking the seal, pulling out and extending, and as he's extending, he's pulling the sheath back. So it should look something like this. And then he points it forward and then grabs. Okay. That felt pretty good. Let's give it another shot. I guess we got a sheath. So he says close over the top, completely conceal it, because you're gonna grip it like this and run your hand over the top. You feel the end, place it in, and then, hey, that wasn't too bad. That wasn't too bad, okay. All right, let's try the draw again. I wanna go so fast, but the key to learning stuff like this is going slow. You wanna go so fast, you wanna show that you can do it. Like right now, I wanna go as fast as possible. Let's, so extend it out. We're gonna pull, draw back, grab, cover, pinch, rotate, feel. Look at that. I didn't even look at the sheath. I am samurai. Okay, let's try it again. Over the top. Pull. Hell yeah. Okay. Cover. I'm a little sketched out because I'm like, since I'm a beginner, I'm like, I don't want to cut my hand. All right, let's see if I can draw a little bit faster. Now, granted, I've been doing martial arts for a very long time. You might not pick it up as quick, and that's okay. You might pick it up faster than me, and that's not okay. I'm the best. Hell yeah, that felt good. Okay, in. Ooh, I made hella noise. That means I wasn't good. They would have made fun of me. So the belt actually seemed like it worked decently well. I'm not mad about that. Let's try it with the martial arts belt. Okay, initial thought, I kind of liked my belt more. Maybe it's because my belt has some like elasticity to it. This one feels a little bit more rigid, but let's give it a shot here. Not too bad. I'm not mad at that, actually. Both work. Great. If you got one of these laying around, use that. If you don't, use the other thing. Let's try again. Great. I probably look like such a buffoon, but that's okay. We're learning together. And finally, he talked about the katana swing. Now, I'm going to use my practice sword because I'm afraid of a sharp sword. I think it's probably just safer to swing one of these, at least in the beginning, to kind of get used to everything. Plus, I don't want to f anything up. So he says how to grip the katana. You don't want to grip it from the sides like this, but you want to think of kind of like wringing out a rag. So that kind of brings my hands inwards like this. He says you want to keep it loose in your hands. So instead of keeping my hands like nice and tight, kind of loosen them up a little bit. And from what it looked like, it's very important when you're watching other people's videos to see what they do as well as what they say. So for example, when I was watching his video, he says you want to kind of squeeze in from the side, but I noticed his hands were kind of relaxed, kind of like this, rather than like at right angles. So I'm gonna try and mimic his hands, and it feels honestly a little bit better. Okay, he was on his knees because he didn't have our super sweet tall ceiling that we got here, but let's just go ahead and kind of go to a horse stance, which is just feet wider than the shoulders, kind of like this, and let's give this a shot. He said the power comes from the left hand and the right hand controls it. Hey, that felt pretty good. That little tip of your left hand gives you the power and your right hand controls it, super fundamental. Just like swinging around, as an American, you kind of think of like a baseball bat, or like people who are right hand dominant. You think of a baseball bat, trying to swing as hard as you can with your power hand, and that made it way more comfortable just focusing on the left hand being the power and the right hand more manipulating where to go. Okay, let's use a real sword. I feel like we have to go from sheathed to do it, so we're gonna go ahead and Unsheath. Relax the hands. Just kind of squeeze them inward. Focus on the left hand as your power hand. I don't have to swing hard. Hell yeah. I don't know if you can hear it on camera, but it's making the sweet sword cutting noise. Oop, that one didn't. Okay, so that seemed simple enough, but we don't stop there. That was just basically how to sheath and unsheath, as well as how to swing the katana. Now, am I an expert? Absolutely not. Should I go join a class? Yes. Do I have the time or commitment? Yes and no. There aren't any Kenjutsu or Iaido studios nearby, so I would have to take online lessons. Luckily enough, these guys have online lessons for me. So I mean, if you're interested, I'm not affiliated with these guys in any way. That's just what I found. So far from what I've seen, they seem great. So like, if you are interested, they've also got it on their pages to learn this. So help them out if you're interested. But we've learned the basics. Are we a master? No. Do I need more practice? Absolutely. Let's move on to the next lesson and see what I can glean from that. There's so much more to martial arts than the basics. I want to learn how to move. I want to learn some strikes. I want to learn like the names of different things. Let's go check it out. We've learned how to draw, sheath, and strike with the katana. Next, I think we'll do a 3-minute everyday kenjutsu workout for beginners. There's a lot of other things that I have in here, like Iaido workouts, not just one way to swing your katana, techniques for fighting, embodying nature, a lot of nuance sort of things, but like, let's get into it. You know what I mean? I'm excited. I want to do this right now. I don't want the philosophy behind it. That's dumb. You should want the philosophy behind it. It's the most important part of martial arts, actually, is the philosophy and the spiritual aspect. But, you know, I digress. I'm a filthy Westerner.
Dishonor on your cow!
And I want to swing sword. Let's go ahead and do this kenjutsu workout. He's got some videos called Learn the Basics of Kenjutsu, where they're teaching the koteuchi. I probably murdered that. 22 kajo, part 1, 2, and 3. But part of that is a lot of hand strikes and wrist strikes with a partner. I don't have a partner. So we're just going to go ahead and do this and watch through this. And then we're going to try and figure it out. We're going to try and figure it out. Let's do it together. Oh, thank God, he's going to explain details. Okay, so I feel pretty confident. Again, I want to stress, I've been doing martial arts for a while, so moving my body makes a little bit more sense to me than it might to some of you. You might be better at moving than I am. Don't be hard on yourself. I'm not going to be hard on myself because undoubtedly I'm going to mess some of these things up. Let's go ahead and go give those a try. Got a little busy and sidetracked with adult stuff, and now I'm doing it on a different day. But I reviewed the video one more time to kind of make sure I'm doing the right thing. So let's start out with the first exercise. What it looks like is he's holding here. He's in a normal stance and he steps back. One of the key things was the middle of the handle goes above the middle of the head, and then strike down. Up, down. Up, and down. One of the interesting things that I noticed when he was moving is he kind of slides a little bit. I don't know if that's just him on the wooden floor with the socks, so I'm gonna go ahead and give that a little try here. I wonder if he's just shuffling on purpose. This one feels pretty simple. I feel like that one's pretty simple just because it's basically just swinging the katana but with a step. The hard part for like a beginner who hasn't done a lot of martial arts training is going to be the back and forth with the feet. You might try and like lift your foot up and step. That's obviously an exaggeration on how much you would. You want to slide your feet across the ground. But I feel like after practicing just the regular swing, that one just, it feels very simple and it makes a lot of sense. Okay, number 2 is the kesa swing. That is the one where he's going back and forth on each side. This one I feel like is definitely going to be a little bit confusing. So it looks like he's stepping forward with the same side and then back with the opposite side. Forward with the same side, back with the opposite. Honestly, not too bad. As long as you can get that rhythm down, that doesn't feel too complicated. Looking at it, it definitely seems like it's going to be a little bit more confusing. If you don't have a lot of foot maneuvering practice, it might be a little confusing. Always take something new that you're learning really slow. Just go here like you would with the straight swing, down, rotate it back. There's no shame in going slow. Only if you feel ashamed, and you shouldn't feel ashamed because you're just learning something. Okay, I'm swinging the katana back and forth like this over my head. I want to double check and see if that's how he's doing it. Can confirm, he is. It's kind of circling around behind him. On to number 3. Number 3 is that parrying exercise where he takes his hand off. He just goes from a horse stance. I don't know what they call it, but that's what I call it. So let's see here. For the left side parry, he takes his hand off and keeps it in the center line and then strikes down. But for the right side, he keeps it on, strikes down. Left side, oh, that was bad. I felt the sword dip super far. Here. Left side, right side, left side, because he's keeping his left hand in the middle of his body. This feels weird. I don't like taking my hand off. I would much rather try and do this, but it feels so wonky. I don't like that one. I'm not good at that one at all. That one's hard. I want to watch more of it. Watching that again, I feel like part of my issue is I'm trying to keep the sword right here where it looks like he allows it to kind of swing around. He allows it to transfer around his body because he's catching it and deflecting it and then hitting again. So if I'm catching, deflecting, and then hitting again. It's just an interesting hand movement, especially on the left side parry, because I don't like letting go of it. Here is fine because I feel like I've got a lot of control. Here I feel uncomfortable. So that's going to be one I'm going to have to practice a lot more. But for the most part, I feel like that's okay. I feel like that's decent. Number 4, the kurumakiri. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong again, but here we go. This is the one with the little step and the switch and the over. So let's take it nice and slow. His main talking point was turning the katana in your hand rather than trying to like move your body. So turn the katana in the hand. He steps forward and brings it up. And then his feet do a little switch. It's going to look a little different because I'm just taking it slow and down. And then he lets the katana turn through and down. Up, circle, down. Up, circle, down. Honestly, this one's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I feel like I'm a little slow on switching the katana around in my hand, but I feel like that'll just come with time. Hey, look at that. That's pretty neat. Okay, we're going to run through one more video. I want to go through an advanced video. Do I think I'm going to be able to do it? Hopefully. I have hope. Whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right. Maybe I'm complete dog water at it. We'll find out. Okay, joke's on me. I just checked it out on my phone. It's the exact same exercise as the beginner one, except it is just more reps. The beginner to advanced is just more reps. So, a few days and an entire Rocky training montage later, and lo and behold, I feel much more comfortable and look much less like a jackass. I'm still a jackass, but I feel like I look not as much like one. I've taken the past few days, which is to say picking up the training sword here and there throughout the day for like 30 to 35 seconds, and at night taking 5 to 10 minutes to just deliberately practice what I saw on the videos, in conjunction with filming myself and seeing how I looked, and then a side-by-side comparison with who I was learning from on the video. And this is a critical point that I want to drive home. If you're trying to learn something through the internet, specifically something physical, whether it be swordsmanship, martial arts, how to kick a soccer ball, maybe you want to do a beautiful pirouette like a ballerina. I highly, highly, highly implore you to record yourself and watch it back side by side with the person instructing you. If you don't have the capability of actually going to a course and getting an instructor or going to a studio and learning hands-on from someone, even if you can't learn via like video call or something like that, this is a way where you can at least compare and contrast what looks right and what doesn't. Now, as a beginner, it might be harder to kind of tell what's going on in the video versus you. And that's why I will always push you to try and get an instructor, whether it's online lessons or in person. And for me, with comparing, I realized that my stance was off. I was leaned back like a weirdo. I was like afraid of the sword for some reason. After watching it back, comparing it side by side with Seki Sensei, I realized that I need to be much more firm in my stance and have a solid base and not be afraid of what was going on here. I also learned to relax this right hand more and let it control the blade rather than try and swing it. That's what my left hand is for. So it ended up looking much more better and secure, and I was a lot less afraid of what the blade was doing. Not necessarily for power reasons, but more just sure that the strike would be there, I guess. I also learned some personal preferences with the real sword. For example, one of them, I don't like taking this cord and wrapping it around and behind as much. I like taking it from the front. That sounds horrible. But I like the cord in front rather than around and behind the sheath itself. It just feels more comfortable for me. I've also gotten much more comfortable with the sheathing and unsheathing process itself. The blade feels much more as an extension of my body rather than this really sharp thing that's just waiting to cut off my fingies. We've all seen those videos on YouTube, and I don't want to be that guy. Kid, daddy cut himself on his katana and he needs you to take him to the ER right now. Also, since I'm learning online, I have the ability to search out and really find a method that works best for me. Now, Seki Sensei teaches having the blade more all the way out in front of you and pulling the sheath back, or the saya, and that is how he kind of goes about the draw, which is more of a left hand doing the work, right hand kind of more out there. It's kind of like that, at least from what I've examined. Now, he probably has more things to say on it, but from what I've seen, that's kind of the go-to for that style. Now, I watched a video from this guy right here, where he does more of a push-pull, keeps it a little bit closer, and it's a bit more of a push-pull method with the blade. With comparing and contrasting the two, that feels a little bit more comfortable for me rather than having my arm all the way out and just pulling the saya back. Doing a little bit more of a double movement feels a little bit better for me. Now, here's kind of the caveat I want to talk about with that. If you're in a class, like for example, if I was in Seki Sensei's class, I'm going to do what Seki Sensei is going to be teaching me. If you pay for instruction, whether it's Muay Thai, Shotokan, or you go to an instructor for ballet or for soccer, listen to what the coach is telling you and try to do what the coach is telling you. If I'm in his class and he says, this is how we draw here, that's what I'm going to be doing because I paid to learn his knowledge. And any good instructor, you should be able to say, hey, I've also learned it this way. What do you think about this? Why not do this? Or would this be a sufficient method to do it also? And they should be able to answer openly and honestly. If they just shut you down, you should probably have some questions. But the point of this is you can then take each method like this one or the push and pull, and then you can decide which one works best for you. Now, one might be better, but generally there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat and find out what works best for you. Again, if you're in their class, try and respect their teachings and do what they suggest. That's why you're there in the first place. So, to answer the question, can you become a swordsman via the internet? Yes and no. I don't think anybody should necessarily call themselves a practitioner of a specific style. Like, for instance, this is the name of the style Seki Sensei teaches, and I wouldn't say that I'm one of his students, nor would I say that I'm even a practitioner of that style. I would say that I've watched a couple videos And this is the style that I was kind of learning from those videos. If I took his course online, that's a different story. I think it's a good foot in the door method, especially if there aren't any studios around you. It's a way where you can kind of step into it without having to do a full commitment. This was like 23 bucks, and it's been an awesome tool for being able to get it in my hands and figure out how I feel about it. If you didn't have a full-on sword, this could work as like a pseudo training method for the drawing, the sheathing. I wouldn't suggest it just because the sheath is really important, but I think you can get like unsharp swords on Amazon for like 100 bucks. Even though I wouldn't consider myself a swordsman or a practitioner of this martial art, I can't pronounce the name. I'm sorry. I would say that I do now know how to draw sheath as well as basic strikes with a katana. Just like if you're watching my videos, you might not be a practitioner of Kenpo karate, but you can at least learn how to do the strikes that I'm teaching you. As always, go out there, find a martial arts studio, and if you're too afraid to go find a martial arts studio, start learning on the internet. Find some stuff, start practicing, and keep an open mind and build up that confidence so you can go out and find a studio. Studios want you there. They want you to be there. They're not going to judge you. They just want to help you improve. Go out, get confident, go learn a martial art, be capable and confident within yourself. That's the end of this. Do the stuff and the things. Like, share, subscribe. I love you. Bye.